Hi, my name is Bill Easton, and I'm your instructor for Library 50 for the spring semester of 2026. So I want to welcome you to my classes. This video covers both sections of my Library 50 class. And the most important thing you should take away from all of this is if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, all right? So in this video, I'm going to show you just a couple of things. I'm going to talk about the syllabus. I'm going to talk about some important things and kind of go over some stuff with the class really quickly. So this is a good way to get started with. And first of all, you want to access this class on a computer. I highly recommend using a computer or a Chromebook because you're going to be going into lots of databases and getting into some things. And so having a computer or a Chromebook, which you can check out a Chromebook at our library if you don't have one, but it's important to have something like that, especially for online classes. Now, if you do end up using like an iPad or if you use your phone, definitely download the Canvas app. All right, the Canvas app is actually pretty darn good. So some apps are kind of really bad. The Canvas app is actually pretty good, but that being said, I highly recommend having a computer or a Chromebook in doing this class. Also, you want to log into the class at least twice a week, if not more. All right, you want to check in and whatnot. The primary way that we keep in contact for this class is on the left over here. See the inbox right here? I will be sending at least a couple of messages a week, and I send out reminders on assignments. If something changes in the class, I will send out an email to everybody in the inbox telling them of any changes and whatnot, because sometimes like websites disappear or things change. All right, so definitely take a look at that inbox. It's important. Communication is so important, especially in an online class. Now from the home page, you're going to want to work your way down. And first of all, if you're watching this video, you've successfully came to the home page because here's the link to the introduction videos right here. There's a link to the class syllabus right here. We're going to be going into that in just a few minutes. There's a quiz on the class syllabus in Unit 1 too, so you're going to definitely want to be looking at that. There's a link to some resources right here. All right, so click on this and check this out because there's answers to questions. There's videos to help you out with some of the things in this class. And I also have some links to some resources that are helpful. So I'm going to click on this link really quickly. And I have a video on how to navigate Library 50, which I'm kind of showing you right now. But important, if you don't know how to download and submit assignments in Canvas using Google Docs and the Google Drive, I have a video on how to do that. And there's also a handout or a static web page I'll show you with written directions there too, with pictures. Okay, very important. So if you're using Google Docs, Google Drive, check that out. If you're not using Google Docs, if you're using something like Microsoft Word, then I've got videos showing how to use other word processing programs and how we submit assignments that way. All right, so take a look at those. I also have some videos on how to view graded assignments and look at grading comments. Okay, so once you submit an assignment, I don't grade it right away. Okay, it might take a little while. It might take a couple of days or whatever. But once I grade it, you can see in the grade book whether I've graded it or not. And then you can go back and you can click and look at my grading comments. And my grading comments are important, so you definitely want to take a look at those. Getting help with Canvas, I have a link to that, which will take you to how to get Canvas help and whatnot. But also I have some links to some great resources, student support, and some free stuff. So for example, there's links to how to get Microsoft Office 365. So as a student, you can get access to Microsoft Office, the complete suite for free, and you can put it on up to 5 computers, I believe. All right. I talk about the student ID card. I talk about such things you can do is you can get like free rides on the MST buses all over the county, just showing your student ID. You can go anywhere you want. And there's some links to some other services here too. So check out this page from the home page. I'm going to go back to our homepage though. And down here's a link to the MPC Library homepage. You're going to be using this quite a bit. Click on it. It takes you to our homepage. And you're going to be searching one search for books and media and textbooks and course reserves. You're also going to be accessing our databases in assignment number 5 and number 7. And so there's links to a lot of stuff right here. Okay, so we'll be using this quite a bit. So you'll be experts on the MPC Library homepage by the end of this class for sure. And then you'll see down here are the units. So our class is broken down into units. We have 7 units and a final exam quiz. And so we definitely want to start off with Unit 1 and work your way down. You can see the due dates here to the right. These units build on each other, so you want to do them in order. And I'm going to click on Unit 1 to show you what a unit looks like because they're all built kind of the same. And so I'm going to click on Unit number 1. And again, you'll see the due date. So in this case, it's Tuesday, February 3rd by 11:59 p.m., so right before midnight. And then all these units will have an overview. So you want to click on the overview, and it kind of tells you what the learning objectives are, what's due, and some information about what you need to do for that unit. So always look at the overview. And you definitely want to look at the introduction video lecture. This is the one for Unit number 1. It talks about how to do stuff, what you need to do. I'll talk about some important concepts and ideas from the lesson that you need to be aware of. So definitely take a look at it. It also tells you the running time. This one's 6 minutes and 13 seconds. They run between 5 and 12 minutes usually. All right. And then come down here, lesson number 1. You definitely want to read the lesson in each unit. Why? Because there's no book for this class. All right, I saved you about $150, but all the content is in the lessons. And what I like to do is have the lesson open when I'm doing the assignments because a lot of the answers in the assignments are in the lesson itself. All right, so just to show you what the lesson looks like really quickly, I'm gonna click on lesson number 1. And you'll start with the first page, overview of library services. And you'll kind of go through and I see lots of answers to questions right now. Go to the next page and I'm going to keep doing this and I'm going to work my way down. And once you get to the end page, you'll see it's the end of lesson 1. And then you're going to want to go back to the Unit 1 page. So this tells you that you've ended the reading of the lesson. And once I'm back to Unit 1, you're going to see down below is everything below the line are things that are due. Okay, anything above the line you need to read or watch or whatever. Okay, so in this unit we have a quiz and we have 2 assignments. All right, and so most of the units will have a quiz and an assignment, but some of them only have quizzes. So there you go. Anyway, this one is down below here. Just take a look. We have directions on how to download and submit assignments. So here's how you get it. Here's where you submit it. Here's the video on how to do it with Google Docs and Google Drive, okay? Now, if you're not using Google Docs or Google Drive, if you're using like Microsoft Word, Apple Pages, Open Office, etc., it's a little bit different. Make sure you take a look at this video and you can take a look at the directions page too, all right? So there's that. Here's a syllabus quiz. I'm just gonna click on this really quickly. You'll see the quiz and you'll click take the quiz, do the quiz. All quizzes in this class you can take as many times as you'd like, and I automatically take the highest score of all your attempts, okay? So another thing is that they're not timed except for the due date. So there's no time limit of like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. So that's a good thing about this class. And the quizzes help support the assignments, okay? So they're important. And I'm gonna go back to our Unit 1 page. And we've got that. Here's a student introduction biography that's also due in Unit number 1. I'm going to click on that. And this is a little different. So here, what you're going to do is you're going to do a student introduction biography. And so this is a private biography. So it's not out in public for the class. It's just between me and you. And just, I'm just kind of an introduction, 4 to 5 sentences. What's your educational plans? What do you want to do in the future? What do you like to do, et cetera, et cetera. I also have a link to my biography too. So you definitely want to do that. So just come up here, click Start Assignment, and then what you're going to do is you're going to write your biography. Okay, click on that, write your biography, and then submit assignment. Okay, so that's pretty easy. And then go back to our Unit 1 page. And then, again, get assignment. So what you can do is you're going to get the assignment, and you can save it. You can save it in your Google Drive or however you want to do that, and then submit it. Again, go back and take a look at the directions. Now, what I want you to do is once you get the assignment, I want you to type your answers in. Do not write them, okay? Do not open up another piece of paper and just type your answers in. I'd like the answers after the questions, okay? If you have any problems or questions, again, with any of that stuff, please let me know, all right? So, and now back on the class homepage. Just to let you know, everything down here, here's all the due dates. This whole class is available to you right now. So you can complete the whole class as quickly as you'd like. The only thing that's not available right now is the extra credit. That pops up about the last week of the class and whatnot. But I've had students complete the class fairly quickly, so you can work ahead if you'd like. If you do that, maybe send me a message. Hey, I worked ahead and I turned in assignments 3 and 4 or whatever. So, and that kind of lets me know that I can go ahead and look ahead and grade it. Okay, so that being said, I want to point out a couple of important things really quickly. On the left, there's a link to the grades right here. Make sure you check your grades. So if you click on grades, you'll see up in the upper right, you'll see your total, what your percentage is for the class at the time. You come down here, you'll see the different assignments and quizzes that are due. Once you submit it, you'll see a date that you've submitted it. And then once I grade it, you'll see that in the status and you'll see a score. All right. So important to take a look at your grades. Can't emphasize that enough. I will be doing a grade review with you when I grade your assignment number 5. So I'll kind of look at your grade and kind of tell you how you're doing and whatnot. All right. It is up to you to drop if you need to. I will recommend, and sometimes I have dropped students that just disappeared and whatnot, but it's definitely up to you to drop if you think you're doing bad or you don't think you're going to be doing good in the class. All right. We come down here too to the inbox. Again, I emphasize that. Check your inbox. I send at least 2 messages a week, like I said before. Do not ignore the inbox for this class or other classes because that's how we communicate primarily, especially this class. And again, I send out reminders, and if things change, I'll let you know with that too. All right. The class syllabus. This is super important. So I'm going to come back to the homepage, and there is a quiz on the syllabus too, but this is the contract between you and I for the class. So I'm going to click on class syllabus and come down here. First of all, here's my contact information, my office phone number, my regular email address. Now, again, I emphasize we use the inbox in Canvas, but I do check my emails regularly too. My biography is right here. There's also a link to my biography where you do your biography, because I figure if you have to do one, I should probably let you know who I am too. But just really quickly, getting started. Start this class as soon as possible. Those who do not log in the first week, by Friday, January 30th, will be dropped for no show per MPC policy. And if you don't get everything done in Unit 1, which is really easy to do, if it's not completed by Tuesday, February 3rd, you'll be dropped from the class for failure to launch. So make sure you start strongly, all right? And then communication in the class, super important. I've already talked about the inbox. I do respond to emails in the inbox within 24 hours, usually much quicker because I'm always checking my emails, all right? But that being said, there's a few times where I go off the grid. I might not be online for a couple of days. If that happens, I'll let you know, all right? So if it's a weekend where I'm not going to be by a computer or the internet, which is nice to get away from a lot of the time, then I will let you know, okay? But you can swing by the office. If I'm on campus, I'm usually available, okay? If you can get me out of a boring meeting, that's even better, okay? But that being said, face-to-face meetings, I also do Zoom meetings. But the most important thing is ask for help if you need it, and I'm here for you, all right? If you have any accommodations, again, I have some information about the academic accommodations if you need that for ARC or whatnot. And then required textbook. Remember, I talked about lessons in the units. There's no required textbook, so I saved you a bunch of money. And then the course requirements, internet connection, access to Lobo apps and Canvas, and then again, this class is best attempted on a computer. Here are the different units, all right, the due dates and whatnot. So that's some information there. Again, I think I mentioned this before. You must type in your answers in the assignment. Do not write them in. I have horrible handwriting. I used to let people handwrite their answers, no longer, because I actually found people that had worse handwriting than me. So there you go. And also, if you do not do or get zeros on both assignments 4 and 5, you will be dropped from the class. All right. So if you decide to blow off assignments 4 and 5, you will be dropped from the class, because those are the 2 most important assignments in the class. So if you don't do those, you're going to be dropped from the class. Super important to know that. All right. That being said, here's the points for each of the assignments, and there's a total of 800 in the class. There's 20 or 30 points extra credit available at the end of the class, so you can actually go above 800. Here's the breakdown for the points. And then you can take this class pass or no pass. You can do that within the MPC portal. You can change it from letter grade to pass, no pass. If you do the work in this class, it's actually a pretty easy class to get an A in. So I always tell students, don't take pass, no pass. But I believe you have up until the last, right before finals week, you can change that. So depending on your grade, you might want to change it either way. I've had a lot of students that will take it pass, no pass. and they would have gotten an A in the class anyway. So A's always look good. All right. So that assignment feedback, I have also instructions here showing you how to access assignment feedback. All right. If you have any questions on any of my grading notes, please feel free to ask. Again, it's up to you to drop yourself from this class. The last day you can drop this class and get a full refund is Saturday, February 7th. Okay. And the last day you can drop for the semester is Monday, April 27th. So we'll be doing grade reviews before that. All right. And then again, you'll be dropped if you don't log into the class by Friday, January 30th, or if you don't get all 3 things turned in by for unit number 1. All right. Late policy, take a look at this. My late policy is that your assignment will be marked off 1 letter grade per day that it is late, and then no assignments will be accepted 2 days after their due date. All right. And then since you're watching this video, here's my unofficial late policy. My late policy is 11:59 on Tuesday night. If you're going to be a few minutes late or an hour late or something like that, I'm not going to mark off the late letter grade for that. Okay, so it's better to turn in things late than not to turn in things at all, or to turn in something that's not completed. All right, so there you go. And then the final exam quiz should be turned in by Tuesday, May 19th. No exceptions. That's the end of the class. All right. So lastly but not leastly, take a look at the student learning outcomes here. It just kind of tells you what you're going to learn in the class. Cheating, plagiarism, generative AI, and academic dishonesty. Take a look at this. Okay. There's no working in groups or pairing up with someone else. You must do your own work. No copying another person's work. This includes copying and pasting answers from the internet. All right. Don't turn in someone else's work as your own. Okay. This happens more often than I care to let people know, and those people get zeros, and it's not good. You can't turn in old assignments or reuse assignments from previous semesters. I changed the questions anyway, so there you go. And no assisting others in cheating or any forms of academic dishonesty. Also, no artificial intelligence in this class, okay? You can't use it. All right, so you can't use it to clean up your own writing, and you can't use it to generate answers. You can't use it at all. Now, we do cover it in unit number 6. We talk about being critical about artificial intelligence and whatnot, but you can't use it in this class. All right, so don't try it. If it happens, you get zeros, okay? And then there's punishments of what can happen if you do get busted. All right, so that being said, the class starts Monday, January 26th. I'm going to be publishing this class on the Friday before, but that being said, let's get off to a great start. If you have any questions, please let me know, and good luck with this class and with the semester. Thanks.